Hello, 3 people. 4 people. Okay, now we're up to 4. Now we're grooving. Hello, 4 people. You're my favorite 4 people of all the people that come in the room by far. Oh wait, there's 9 people. I meant you 9 people are my favorite 9 people, but after those 9, the class in this room is going to go way downhill after you. Hey, there's 14. Hey, what's up, Frank? Oh, this is so great. Crikey, mate. Yeah, crikey is right. I'm learning all sorts of words. Here's what Australian people do. I figured it out. They take a part of a word, like 2 letters that are in a word, like in the middle of a word, and then they just arbitrarily repeat those 2 letters. And then they lengthen the word. That's how they start. So like you got a town like Maluba. They change. No, you have a town like Maluba that changes its name to Malulaba, and then once they change the name, they shorten it to Muli. No, they do. They arbitrarily add. They repeat a middle of a word to make it longer, and then they chop off 2/3 of the word and add an e at the end. Mm-hmm. So good day. It's amazing. It's a great system. Like they literally make the words longer just so they can abbreviate it. That's how much they like their abbreviations down here. Hello, everybody. Look at that. That's right there. You see that? Wait, you can't see it. That's the freaking Harbor Bridge in Sydney. And right there, that little white dot right there is the Opera House. Hello, Isabel. Hello, PW Eat. Hello, Robert. Hello, Simon. I'm exposing your secret. Sorry. Okay. That's an old school work. Ask Biggie Smalls. Really? So Australians stole their culture from Biggie Smalls. Oh God, that is so funny. I don't know. Is there like a big East Coast, West Coast thing here? Like, do the people in Perth come over to Sydney and like, you know?
I think it's mainland versus.
This is like New Zealand, maybe. Hello, flying girl.
Wow, dude, you made a mess on the floor.
And Chad's here. Any crazy snakes on the course? Have we seen any snakes? We saw one in the water. Remember at the Botanical Gardens?
I see a snake eel.
Yeah, so so check this out. We were at these Botanical Gardens in, what's that town? Bundaberg. And what?
We're trying to bring down.
To bring down
a little bit. Yeah.
No, we should leave it up. I mean, I know it's kind of, I know I'm backlit, but the Sydney Harbor is way prettier than me, so it's okay. We were in Bundaberg, and we were looking in the water, and we saw this
snake.
The snake-looking thing. And Adriana says, like, what is that? I said, it's a snake. She goes, I think it looks more like an eel. And I'm like, no, it's not an eel. It's in the middle, like it's inland. It's a snake. She's like, no, I'm pretty sure it's an eel. And we argued a little bit. And then we Googled it. I kid you not. It's called an eel snake. Yeah. So if you want any more proof that this entire thing is part of my simulation, that's pretty much it. My simulation wrote a program so that we'd both be right. Eel snake. You ever heard of such a thing? Let's see. What's up? Thanks for helping you with your game. You're an absolute legend, Price. Thank you so much. And I saw the congratulations. My favorite hole at Australian Disc Golf Championships. It's hole 15. The long downhill one with OB on the right and trouble on the left. That is the closest thing to like what a par 3 course would look like on a par 3 hole would look like on the Pro Tour. Like there's OB down half the fairway. There's stuff to get into on the other side. You've got terrain changes. You've got elevation changes. Like a birdie is really, really good, and there's a chance of bogeying. If y'all want in Australia here want to make the courses or build holes to like breed the level of player that's going to be coming to the Pro Tour someday, that's kind of the level of holes you have to have. That's what a par 3 should look like. And then of course the par would be like that one is where the landing zone is, and then another one of those off to the side.
Are you gonna need more coffee?
I'll definitely need more coffee. Let's see. Let's see. Crocodile Dundee still lives there. Okay, so I can tell you a story about Crocodile Dundee. Not the nicest fella in the world. I know the person that did a bunch of work on his house up in Aspen. Someone that I know that I've been very close with, and just raved about how not a nice guy he was. So I never met him, but I got it from a good source. Do you see Drew's tweet about basket heights? I never. No, I haven't. I'm not on Twitter, so I did not see. But what you tell me? Let me know what he said. The course is in Sydney. I have not played the courses in Sydney, but I'm going to be at a a clinic today in Sydney as well. Hey, well, I got everybody. Someone said they appreciate all the help with their game. If you want to reciprocate on all the help with your game, if any of you are throwing farther because you watched a video of mine, best thing you can do is go to scottstokely.net and pick up one of my Tour Series discs or one of the discs at my store. They're all they're all my, from the 2022 tour, obviously. I got discs like this one right here, which is my Tour Series harp, which is a overstable mid-range disc, which I absolutely love. I throw the harp all the time. I threw it in Australia. I'm out of them, or else I'd show them to you. But my Tour Series Assassins are out, and I'm going to have a video out real soon for my Assassin, because it is very understable fairway driver. It is the best roller disc I've ever thrown. If you're looking at getting a disc that you can roll, go to scottstokely.net and pick up some of the Assassins. They're absolutely fantastic. All right, so let's see. He's not a fan of baskets raised and directed towards course designer. As far as what I think of it, everyone's entitled their opinion about anything they want on any course. I like all the challenges on courses. So like here, I'll give you an example of somewhere that I'm totally weird. And I would guarantee you that most players would disagree with me on this. I don't have a problem with unusual shaped or sized tee pads. Like the tee pads at the Australian Championships were short, and on the long holes they were short, and you had to step up to them, and you couldn't get a proper run up, and especially if you were throwing at an angle, it was even harder. But I don't consider that bad tee pads. What I consider that is one of the challenges of the course. One of the course challenges at the Aussie Open or the Aussie Championships was you had to navigate difficult tee pads. And that's just a problem to solve. So a raised basket or a lower basket to me is just another problem to solve. If you have a raised basket, if you don't like it, well, what if there was a natural hill with a regular sized basket on top of it? You'd be putting it the same exact basket, right? It's just an artificially way of doing that. So I've never once complained about a course or a hole. I'm not saying Drew is complaining. I love Drew. But I'm saying that every course I play, that hole is the challenge, but the only one that I don't like is I don't like when there's too much luck involved, because then it just randomizes things. So that's the only thing I would say I don't like, but I certainly play the hole like everyone else. That's just me. All right. Thank you, Flying Girl. That was really sweet. Having double knee replacement first half of the new year. Suggestions on throwing backhand or forehand after rehab. After double knee replacements, here's the thing. I don't ever give advice regarding injuries, because I only have like 4 pet peeves in the entire world. I pretty much like everything. But one of the pet peeves I have is when people overstate their knowledge base. Like they're giving advice on how not to get cancer. They took a massage therapy class, right? I'm not, there's probably massage therapists in here that I just made mad. I'm just saying that there are some massage therapists or chiropractors or nutritionalists who are going to tell you about things that are outside of their realm. And so to me, I won't give you advice regarding injuries because I ain't a doctor or an orthopedic surgeon. having prefaced that with my legal disclaimer, sidearms are more of an arm throw than a backhand. So you should likely, depending on the angles, you should find it easier to throw a sidearm first because you can do a standstill sidearm pretty easily. Standstill backhands are tough. That was a way longer answer than it needed to be. Sorry about that. Hey, what's up, Eddie? Oh, the Sean Dawson Memorial. Always remember you coming out of retirement, winning that a narrow bag. Thank you, Eddie. Yeah, it was really funny. I didn't play a tournament, or I didn't play for like 13 years, and then I went to my first tournament at the Sean Dawson Memorial and played in the Open Division, and I won. I'd been back for like just a couple weeks. And the funny thing was, is when I won, I remember the last round, I birdied the first 11 holes of the round. And the guy in my group, I can't remember his name, was a real nice guy from Longmont. It was tight. There was like 4 of us within like a stroke going into the last round. And I birdied like the first 11 holes in a row to take like a 5-stroke lead. And I parked to the 11th hole. And he walks up to me, doesn't say a word. He just walks up to me, looking me in the eye. And as he looks me in the eye, he reaches into my bag, pulls out all my discs, throws them on the ground, and just walks away. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. He just like, I mean, and by the way, he wasn't being a jerk about it. It was hilarious. But I still remember that, and it was really cool. Forget his name. He had a great sidearm, though. As to Sean, it was Santos Montoya. No, it wasn't Santos. No. It was a guy, full sleeve tattoo on one of his arms, or maybe both of his arms. You told me that was the best island. I loved that island hole out there. It crushed me. I mean, I birdied it each time, but it crushed my spirits because I was terrified. Because I hadn't played in like 13 years. I was so hardly. I'd been playing for like a few weeks. Eugene says, I'm pretty new to disc golf, but can't stand the power grip. I've been using much more hand on top of the disc for the backhand. Is that grip going to limit my length in the future? You loved posting that, didn't you? Oh, Jane loved posting that question. All right, here we go. You ready for my first rant of the night? We'll get warmed up for this one. Okay, there are some things in disc golf. Because of their names, they have screwed literally millions of people up. So there are some things that are the worst named things in disc golf. And probably the biggest culprit of this, the worst named thing in all of disc golf, is the power grip. The reason why the power grip is the worst named thing in disc golf is because if you're new to disc golf, it is kind of implied that if you want to throw far, you grip with the power grip. You know who doesn't grip with a power grip? Me, Simon Lizotte, Garrett Gurthie, Drew Gibson. This does not make you throw farther. The reason it's called a power grip is because the person that named it this had to call it something. Like they could have called it the banana grip or the credenza grip or the Baltimore grip. They could have named it after themselves. But the minute they called it power grip, it's now implied this flies farther. Now, here's the thing. I grip with a pinch grip. It does not mean the pinch grip is better than the power grip. That's also false. Grip is individual. Our hands are all different. When you're gripping a golf disc, you need to accomplish 3 things. You need a strong grip, a clean release, and a consistent release. Those are rules. That is a rule that you must accomplish those 3 things with your grip, everybody. But there is not a single grip that will give everyone those 3 results. I do not get a clean, nor do I get a consistent release when I grip with a power grip. That doesn't fit my hand. This fits my hand. So, first step, ignore the word power grip. Throw with whatever grip works best for you, and that's what you're going to stick with. Now, I have to add to this before anybody misunderstands. The worst advice you can get in all of disc golf is when somebody says to you, just figure out what works for you and just do it your way. That is nonsense. There's a right and a wrong way to throw. Physics, biomechanics, that trumps everything. There's a right way to throw. You have to throw a certain way if you want to be good at disc golf. The one exception to that is grip. Grip is completely individual. So Eugene, throw whatever grip works best for you, and it is your correct grip. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Everything else you got to do a certain way. Ooh, by the way, we're so hoity-toity here. We're going to drink coffee out of a little miniature cup overlooking the Sydney Harbor.
It is National Espresso Day.
It is National Espresso Day?
Mm-hmm. You got to hold your pinky up, though.
Mm. So last night we went.
Somebody's going to screenshot that.
Please don't screenshot that. Why, they weren't going to screenshot it until I just said something. Okay. Last night we went to dinner on the roof of this hotel. Like we're in this like fancy schmancy hotel, which is wild to me because I played professional Frisbee golf. And for 40 some odd years, I slept floors when I traveled. So it's so weird that now all of a sudden I can stay at like nice places. But anyways, we're at this nice hotel overlooking the harbor. And last night we went to have dinner on the roof of the hotel, like on the 38th floor, rooftop restaurant, super fancy. Everybody was dressed really nice. I wore this. It's the nicest thing I have with me. And I'm terrified of heights. Like, I mean, I actually walk up to this window. Like, I'm not nervous now, but when I first walk into the hotel room and I walk up to the window, I kind of back away from it. I'm like, heights freak me out. I'm sorry. I'm a wussy when it comes to heights. So we go up to the roof, 20 floors or 10 floors, whatever, higher. And there's a balcony outside the restaurant where you can like lean up against the thing and take a picture. And I went out there and I took a picture of us, like right at the edge of the whatever the fall to your death ledge. And it was really exciting. And then I came back inside and was shaking a little bit. What? No. Oh, no, they took a screenshot. Why did you have to say something? Okay, did I sling a disc off the roof? No. I'm pretty sure you'd go to jail for that here. There's really no landing zone. And if it landed in the harbor, they would be considered that littering. Cool. Most fun pro to be with on your card. Who you got? You know, Matty O is really fun. There's no question. I love practice rounds. I don't know if I played any tournaments, but practice rounds with Bradley Williams. That guy is probably the funnest person to play practice rounds with. I think honestly though, I played a round with
Albert Cam.
Oh no, I love Albert Cam too. Once you get to, well, he's from Finland or from Estonia. Estonia. One of those two.
Albert?
Yeah, Estonia.
Mm-hmm.
He's from Estonia. Similar culture, and they're it takes a little while before they kind of let the facade down, and then the guy's amazingly funny. No, I was playing with the guy with the afro from Tennessee. Lefty. What the hell's wrong with me? I'm about to say he was the funnest person I played with. I can't remember his name.
Afro? You think I'll remember now?
Yeah, the biggest afro in disc golf. Lefty from Kingsport, Eastern Tennessee.
Lefty doesn't mean anything.
Starts
Zach
with
Melton.
Zach Melton. Jesus.
Oh, yeah, okay, there you go.
Okay.
Everybody says Zach.
Yeah, Zach. Okay, thank you, everybody. Yeah, everybody knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
I think Zach was the funniest guy I played with all year because I only played with him one round, and I played the qualifier for Maple Hill, and we all ended up qualifying. But we weren't in the top 75 points earners for the year, right? So we all had to qualify, and so it's an important round. If you don't, you have one round. If you don't shoot well, you're going to be watching the MVP. I ended up watching. I withdrew anyways, but anyways. So we're playing Ravens there. Raven is also hilarious. And Zach throws this shot on this par 4. A really good shot. It was in the perfect landing zone. It was a great shot. He still had like 350 feet to the hole because these holes are hard. But it was perfect. And then I just ripped the hell out of a shot. And it went over his like 100 feet past his, and even in a better spot. I mean, we're talking like, people would be high-fiving Simon if he landed there. I mean, it was this epic throw. And we start walking down the fairway, and Zach, the entire walk up the fairway, proceeds to explain to me how much better his shot was than mine. It's better to be where he is, and how like I'm in a really bad spot, and how it's gonna like how like he just basically went into like the physics and the science behind why his inferior shot was superior to mine. It was so great. Like I love the attitude of just like just having fun. Like I know it's an important tournament, but the way he was complimenting my shot was basically like just trying to shit all over it. And like it was just, I don't know, I just thought he's the best. So I'm gonna go with Zach Melton just from that one round. But I have a feeling that Zach's like that every round.
He said he shaved his head.
He did. He shaved his head. He lost a bet.
No way. That's tragic.
That is tragic. If I could grow hair like Zach Melton, I would never wear a hat.
You shouldn't wager that kind of hair. Like
no, you should never wager his hair. Hello, Luke Carroll.
And Pee Wee says, did he get you playing pickleball?
No, I didn't play pickleball. No pickleball this year. I've never played pickleball. Did I bring any of my discs on tour to sell? I brought 6 boxes. No, I brought 7. Well, I only have like 5 left.
Whoa.
I brought 7 boxes of discs.
They're going fast.
With me. They're going fast. Yeah, it was cheaper to bring him to check him in as baggage than it was to ship him over here. It still costs about $3 a disc. So it costs like $150 to send 50 discs. But that's still cheaper than shipping them.
Plus, we get to control their delivery.
Yeah, they show up. They in theory show up with me. So yeah, so I brought 7 boxes of discs to the airport with me.
They looked at you like you had 3 heads.
Do I have any of the new Universe discs? The new Universe discs? No, but next live stream, the new Stokely Universe is out. Here, let me show you what I got. This is what's available now at scottstokely.net. These are Discraft ESP buzzes. Is that the coolest thing you've ever seen? These are full color stamps on black discs. Oops, I can't. I got to get it straight. I can't adjust it backwards. But those are available, and the new Stokely Universe discs are about to debut. But there's also minis available. We're going to be
up?
Are they up? Will you check? No, I thought so.
I hadn't heard. So.
Or no, they're going to go up next week.
Yeah, they're okay. And towels? Are the towels?
We got also. I don't know, but we got coming up next week. Next week's going to be a big show. We're going to be doing it from Mount Gambier. We're going to be doing it from inside of a volcano, right?
So yeah, they're not up yet.
Yeah, they're not up yet.
Probably
but
next week, you said? Yeah,
we're going to be inside of a volcano next week. Did I say that loudly enough? There is a volcano. Apparently it's dormant or extinct, I hope. But there's a disc golf course inside the caldera, right? Mm-hmm. Caldera of the volcano. There's a disc golf course. And so we are driving 11 hours just to play a disc golf course inside of a volcano and I believe the live stream should be from there, right?
Yeah, it's
what if we might not have Wi-Fi from inside of a volcano? How are
because it's on Thursday.
Do volcanoes typically have good Wi-Fi? But there's a town.
The hottest spot around.
It's the hottest spot around. Get out. Leave. No, I won't. I won't tolerate that level of humor on my feed. Yeah, stop laughing. It's not funny.
No, I'm probably going to be in Ballarat anyway.
Oh, we're going to be in Ballarat. Well, am I going to be in Ballarat?
I think so.
I think we'll be in Ballarat. Yeah, we'll be in Ballarat.
So it'll be.
We'll have good mobile coverage from Mount Gambier. Yes, Luke says we're going to. Yes. No he says no Wi-Fi, but hardwired connections. We'll figure. Can you and Klein play around together anytime soon and video? We would love that.
Yo, wait for me to put stuff.
Oh, sorry. Wait for it to come up on the screen.
Well, you may as well answer that one. Finish it.
Oh, I'll wait. No, wait for it to come up, because then it'll appear on the screen. Have you tried a Gateway spear? I have not tried it yet, but I have heard good things. Dave McCormick is making some great discs. I know the Gateway. Some people had different opinions about their discs and plastics. I think that's more reputation now than reality. Gateway's putting out some nice discs. In fact, I throw easy segue. The Gateway Assassin and Gateway Wizard are both in my bag. The Assassin is the best roller disc I've ever thrown. You can get it at scottstokely.net. It is amazing. It does all the turning in the air for you and rolls, which means you don't have to do those awkward angle with a stable disc type of shots. And the Wizard is all my long putts are with Wizards. And when I switched to the Wizard, the stat people, Up Down Stats, checked on that, and I basically doubled the amount of long putts I made the minute I switched to the Wizard. So I swear I love Gateways, and I love Dave McCormick. Can me and Climo play together anytime soon and make a video? So I don't have any plans on being back in Florida anytime. Honestly, Ken and I, we're just different people. Like, nothing against Ken. I don't think Ken has anything against me, but we are absolutely polar opposite personalities. I just like being light and easygoing and having fun, and that's just kind of the space that I surround myself with. Like, I'm not into confrontation. I'm not into aggressiveness. I like just having fun. Life's too short. So I think that I hope Ken goes and shoots around and puts it on video. I think it'd be great. Am I going to be having in-person classes in the U.S. this summer? As a matter of fact, As a matter of fact, quote, I, end quote, am. I just actually posted a schedule for the whole 2023 season. Jonathan Nicholson is a certified coach in the Stokely method. He actually has traveled with me. He came all the way from Texas up to Vermont and Massachusetts and down to North Carolina just to come to my seminars, to learn the method of teaching that I use so he could then teach the method. He's now a trainer on the Discord for my 6-month online Become a Complete Disc Golfer class. He's a trainer in those groups as well. And he will be teaching the Stokely method seminars. Jonathan's amazing. The thing about the Stokely method seminars, the method is not a method of throwing. Everyone agrees on the right and wrong way to throw pretty much. The method, the Stokely method, is the method, the process of teaching players how to get there. And my method that I've developed after decades is the most effective method of teaching disc golf out there. It's very unique. It doesn't teach the end result. It teaches a process, sometimes even wrong turns along the way, but it's a method of building layers and building skills and adding to those skills with you throwing the right way. And it is a very specific method, but anyone can teach the method once they understand the process. Jonathan knows the process. So the Stokely method seminar, you are going to get everything you would get if you would have come to one of my seminars. It's the exact same teaching. The only exception is he can't tell you stories from 1980. His stories don't go back as many years. Other than that, Jonathan teaches the method as well as me. He's fantastic, y'all. So go to scottstokely.net, click on disc golf instruction seminars. You'll see the entire schedule for 2023 that Jonathan is teaching. And if you're not in the area, I have a 6-month online class, Become a Complete Disc Golfer, that you can read about at scottstokely.net. You can sign up. We're taking signups every single month to join in for the 6 months worth of classes. Long answer to a short question. How did I play my very first tournament? I won.
How did you play?
How did I play in my very first tournament? I won my very first tournament. You see,
How did you decide to play?
I was 12 years old. I think probably the local Oak Grove Gophers, Joe Racino, told me about it. I was 12 years old. Maybe might have been 13. No, I was probably 13 then, and it was the Beach Bowl, and 1982. And I played the juniors division, and I was the only junior. So I got first place. See, not a lot of kids played back then. The people that played disc golf weren't old enough to have kids. Most of them. I mean, some of them had kids, but most of them weren't old enough to have kids yet. They were old enough to play. And most of the people that didn't play wouldn't allow their children to be around the Frisbee golfers. It was a very counterculture, alternative scene. A lot of long hair, a lot of partying at the tournaments back then. And so there weren't a lot of kids. So when I went to a tournament, of course I won the juniors division. I was the only junior. My second tournament I ever played, I also won the juniors division, the Nevada State Championships. There were 4 juniors, which was the largest junior tournament I think I ever played in. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to hear this. Where do you put your thumb? I put the disc with my thumb, and then I slide it outward until I can feel the lip of the disc. Once I feel the lip, that's where I place my thumb. Except that is not the correct place to place your thumb. It's the correct place for me to place my thumb based on the shape size of my hand. Everybody's grip is different. So if you get a clean, consistent release because you put your thumb up like this, put your thumb up like that. If you get a clean, consistent release by sliding your thumb closer to the edge, slide your thumb closer to the edge. When I teach, I separate. There's things you absolutely must do. There's things that you must do, but there's a little bit of flexibility within them. And then there's a few areas that are completely flexible. Grip is completely flexible. There's no correct grip. In 1,000 years, when we have figured out this sport, like the technique to the millimeter of how you're supposed to do things, grips will all look different. There's never going to be one grip, I promise. So you put your thumb in different spots. Wherever you're getting the best release, that's where your thumb is supposed to be. Your hand decides your grip, not you. Oh, I want to have some more hoity-toity tea. I'm going to do it with the pinky out. I had to get my pinky out.
When I met you, that was the picture on your old website.
That was my face. Oh no, that was my that was the picture on my
on your old website.
my LinkedIn or on my website.
What was on your website?
My old website. I'm drinking out this little miniature cup.
Itsy bitsy little cup.
It was an espresso cup.
Well, it looked like a toy in your hand. Like it was just one of those in miniature tea sets. That's like a whole little scene.
No,
something.
it was the thing. Did I transition to glasses? I started wearing glasses after years of golf and realized my depth perception maybe for years. That's fantastic if you figured something out. I only wear glasses. They're only readers. I buy these from the dollar store, and I break them and lose them about every 4 to 5 days. But so it doesn't affect it at all.
Tell them about the price of readers here.
The what?
The price of readers here in Australia.
Oh no. So okay. No. So I was telling the truth. I've been buying readers for years. This is God's honest truth. Was buying 10 at a time, right?
Yeah.
I buy 10 at a time and they last maybe 2 months. Because I step on them, I leave them in restaurants, they fall out of the car, they go in my golf bag, get cracked. They're also low quality, but it costs about $1 a week for my glasses habit. And then the reason I like them is because glasses never last more than like a week at most. So I got to Australia and these readers were like $20. And so I've had them for 3 weeks and I haven't lost them or broke them.
I've never seen you be so careful.
I'm actually careful with my. Have you ever tried studying baseball pitching mechanics to improve on your sidearm game? I actually played semi-pro baseball for a little bit back when I was 19 years old. So I studied baseball. I mean, I studied as a player those mechanics. So the answer would be yes in a roundabout way.
But you also studied like pool and
darts. Oh no, I studied every sport. I mean, I wrote the first book on disc golf throwing technique in 2000. I had no idea how to teach or how to teach sports or how to communicate. And just, I was so ignorant because there was nothing, I didn't have something before me to base my teaching on. So I was going to be literally writing the book on how to play professional disc golf. And so what I did is I contacted a number of different people in different sports, and I said, what is the Bible of your sport? Like what, like, I called golf pro shops and said, if you had to have one book on how to play golf, what would it be? I called billiards halls. What's the one book on shooting pool? And I went around and I read different books on different sports, trying to look for learn how to teach, and then try to find a pattern about how things were communicated and how the body moves and what techniques work. And I mean, I borrowed from every other sport I could. So I did study other sports because there was no reason to reinvent the wheel. So the reason why I teach throwing the ball in baseball is because baseball figured this out 150 years ago. If there was a better way of throwing a ball from left field to home plate, somebody would have tried it in 1861, would have been better at throwing runners out from left field, and that would have been adopted and caught on. I mean, that's the way it works. It's the law of large numbers. There's a big enough sample size in the sport of baseball to say baseball mechanics aren't going to change. They figured it out. It's a way to throw. So I have based everything I do on that. So yes, I've studied it in a way, for sure. Tour, probably going towards tour cards to qualify, limit those who can compete in Elite Series events. One, worried you could prevent a second return, and two, the concept in general. So it has to be that way. I mean, more people want to play than can play. And so the idea of having to qualify, I completely agree with. I mean, I can't go compete at Wimbledon just because I signed up fast enough if I wanted to go play tennis. Like, no, it has to be a qualifying system. All you need to do, and I'm positive they'll do this, is you have to set aside some cards for wild cards. In other words, Eagle McMahon was out all year. Let's suppose Eagle didn't qualify based on points, but comes back next year. Well, like, obviously he needs to be on tour. So as long as you have slots set aside for those exceptions, then you're fine, And then there's even play-in spots, which basically, if you want to have a world championships, there has to be a way of playing in, because in theory, there's some player from the Republic of Chad who's way better than Paul Macbeth or Ricky Wysocki, but has no way of qualifying. Well, how do you know you're the world champion if you excluded that player from playing? So there has to be some path for every player to get in, even if it's difficult. And I'm positive that'll be the case. It's not going to be to exclude players. Now, as far as my second return, I am planning on coming back in 2025. I'm going to do the Euro Tour for the next 2 years, and I plan on being back in 2025. This year, I was about an average touring player. Like, I mean, I cashed at more than half my events, which is the top 40%. So pretty much I was about as average as you can get. But an average player belongs out there. I mean, the average NBA player is the sixth man or seventh man on a team. Clearly, they belong in the NBA. If you have 12-man teams and you're the sixth best player in the team, you belong. So I was kind of like the sixth best player in the 12 player. I was average. If in 2 years I'm still good enough to be an average touring player, I plan on being out here. As far as those preventing my return, if I am not good enough to qualify for a tour card according to the path that they set, or if I'm not good enough to get an exemption based on, well, I've been, competing in Europe and Australia, so therefore I didn't have the ability to qualify, but I'm 1,010 rated or something, and they could put me in. But if I'm not good enough to get in on those merits, then I shouldn't be allowed to play. My spot should go to a younger player who is better than me. So as long as I'm good enough to play, I don't think there's any barrier to me getting in. If I'm not good enough, I don't want to be let in. I don't want to be out there just because, like who I am, because I'm at least as good as the players out there, at least some of them. What do I think about the young pros in Australia? The young pros in Australia are really good. The sport right here in Australia feels like the U.S. 20 years ago. And it's not a compliment, nor is it an insult. It's just the reality of a smaller sport. with a smaller pool of players, with a level of play that isn't at the highest level for players to emulate, like the whole sea rises. When good players get good, other players will get good with them. You know, the minute you have like if you had 1,030 rated player living in Australia, you would have a handful of 1,000 rated players, not because of some mathematical glitch to the system, but because the level of play will rise with the top. And the thing that needs to happen, I think the big things needs to happen. Well, I've only played 3 courses, so I can't really say this. I might be wrong, but I think that from what I've seen, the courses are easier. It's going to be hard to need to be harder, at least the ones I've seen so far. Or else players are developing a skill set that doesn't translate. It's the question about players in the 90s, how would they translate to today's game? And it's an unfair question, I always say, because, well, the players in the 90s had games that were developed for 90s courses. So the players that played in the 90s would not be competitive today with that skill set. Now, had the players in the 90s been born 20 years later, could they have been competitive today? Possibly. They would have developed differently. But the games that were developed in the 90s 100% don't translate to the modern game. And so I've already seen that happen. So if we want the younger players, you need to have challenging courses right off the bat. First and foremost, gotta have challenging courses. Now, I haven't played all but 3 courses, so maybe they are a lot more challenging, and I just don't know. But that's what I think of the young pros. I think they're good. I think they're talented. There will be a ceiling put on them if they don't have a playing field for their games to elevate to their skill, to their potential skill level. That would be my initial take on it. Is MVP overmold technology a thing? More of the weight in the rim that this makes for longer spin and more distance? Okay, so here's the thing about, so first off, I love MVP. Love Brad and Chad, love what they're doing. The concept of distributing more weight to the rim 100% will improve the consistency in the flight of a disc. Just gyroscopically distributing the weight outward will make the disc fly more true. Just think of the example of a paper plate. A paper plate doesn't, like a paper plate will like spiral in the air. Take a paper plate, put a little weight around the rim, it will spiral less, right? It's a gyroscopic effect. And I'm not trying to sound all sciencey because I dropped out of school when I was 15, but I know that this is the case. This is why an aerobie, a flying ring, flies farther than any other disc made. One of the reasons is all the weight's distributed on the outside. And look at it, golf discs, the wider in discs, like they're not sharper as far as how they cut through the air. They still have the same angle bevel, right? But they are distributing more weight to the outside, and then they also fly farther. I don't know if that's the only reason, or aerodynamically the wider rim, or if it's both, but the correlation is there. So there's something to that. Now, as far as how much weight they distribute on the outside, that I don't know. So I don't know the details. The thing about disc testing, especially between manufacturers, is right now still subjective. You still have players throwing the discs and making judgment calls on them. And as long as that happens, it's going to be very hard to say. Like as a scientist, you would need to take a disc with overmold technology, and you would then need to take that identical mold without overmold and build a disc that is exactly the same dimensions to like the nanometer. And then you'd need a machine to throw them both to see which one actually flew farther. Until that happens, we're just guessing. So yes, the technology is valid. The concept is for sure scientifically and mathematically, physics valid. Whether or not they accomplish it with the amount they distribute, we don't know.
Plus, they're limited by the PDGA regulations, aren't they?
No, not with the overmold. No,
the overall weight of the disc and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's
specifications on the
sure. No, yeah, the PDJ. No, that's what limits the technology from pushing farther than it is today.
Yeah.
The PDJ has tech standards that limit many things that you can do with a disc. I'll tell you all a funny story. I had a chance. I got contacted by somebody that said they had access to 500,000 pounds of carbon fiber nanotubes. And carbon fiber nanotubes are very, very, very lightweight. Now, the middle of a disc, we cut up a bunch of discs, and the middle of the disc was around 23 grams. Now, you can't get it any lighter than that. You need a certain disc thickness. There's PDJ regulations. There's also, if it's thinner, the disc is going to break. So you have to put a certain amount of weight on the rim. And the density of the plastic has to be such that when you fill the mold, it doesn't weigh more than too much weight, but it can't weigh like 150 grams. No one will buy it. So you actually have to have a certain plastic density with a certain width rim. So you're actually pretty limited on how much the flight plate, the middle of the disc, can weigh. And I believe it was about 23. And we estimated that we could, with carbon fiber nanotubes, get the middle of the flight plate down to about 5 grams. It would still have to be plastic, but it's mostly filler. It's like, think of it, it's like bubble wrap. The carbon fiber nanotubes are so light, it might as well have been air bubbles inside of it. 5 grams meant that we could now distribute 18 more grams to the rim. Can't change the rim size, but we could use a denser plastic that would otherwise have made a 185 gram disc, which you could never use, but we could have put that denser plastic in there. So we actually thought there's a chance that we could have some technological breakthrough in the sport. Here's the problem. The carbon fiber nanotubes, when put into plastic, make this disc hard as a rock. It simply wouldn't bend. The PDJ has restrictions on how stiff a disc can be. When you put a weight on a disc and you bend it, the disc must fold a certain distance with a certain amount of weight. That's for safety reasons. If the disc doesn't bend and it hits you, you're being hit with concrete, not rubber or plastic. So in the end, we couldn't figure out a viable way of actually any way that you could use the carbon fiber nanotubes and make a flight plate that was flexible. And so the PDJ restrictions stopped the ability to proceed with that project. I don't know where that went. That went all off topic, but that's nerd stuff for y'all. But yeah, that's the idea. So as far as the technology, I love the concept of it, and they may be onto something. But as a scientist, I would say until you can test something, it's subjective. You know, confirmation bias is a powerful thing. So even the same player trying to throw both discs the same way, they're going to remember those from the disc that they previously thought was going to fly farther. When they test discs, it's going to reinforce what they already believe. We're all vulnerable to it, even if we're aware of the concept. We can't completely objectively test 2 discs. No one can. So again, total science nerd here. We can't test it, so we don't know. But the concept is valid. Long answer. How do you guys all feel like you were in class? Did I bore you all there? Hey, if you go to scottstokely.net, you can buy these discs with the correct amount of plastic and weight distribution in them. My Tour Series Assassins are at scottstokely.net. That is the best roller disc out there. Just go buy a couple Assassins, and these are going to be your roller discs. Like, they're the best. I mean, that's what I roll. I chose every potential disc made as my roller disc, and I went to Gateway and said I want to use the Assassin. The Assassin is rad. And I'm also throwing the Harp. Well, all my Tour Series discs are up there, but I brought the Harp in because the Harp is the easiest to control mid-range disc out there. So go to scottstokely.net, buy some discs, especially if you're throwing farther. If you're throwing farther, stop messaging me to thank me that my video helped you throw farther. Go buy a Frisbee. How's that? You think I was assertive enough?
Well, tell people to like and subscribe too.
Oh, and like and subscribe on my YouTube channel and buy my book and sign up for my 6-month online Become a Complete Disc Golfer class. And go to Philip Bartholomew's and Jonathan Nicholson's Stokely Method seminars that are coming up over the next 12 months.
Since you're being bossy.
Am I being bossy? I know. I did say Frisbee. I'm old. These are Frisbees. I don't care what you say. They're still Frisbees. said you thought you were grading Kami Atticus down before your doubles round after the delay course. What's your best tip for getting your head in the game before a round? Yeah, so Atticus was great. So here's what happened. So I'm playing at the event. I'm playing doubles, and I'm playing with Atticus from Tasmania, as you foreigners call it. And because there was a time change difference, he showed up at the last minute, and I'm like, I was positive that he was going to be totally stressed out, thinking he was going to be late, wasn't going to make it in time, was going to miss the Australian doubles championships. Getting to play with me, I don't know, I think that's kind of a big deal. And I knew he was going to be showing up at the last minute. So I told the tournament director and all the people up at Tournament Central, I said, when Atticus shows up, tell him I got pissed off and left.
I haven't even heard this.
Oh, you haven't heard this? Yeah, I told the TD, I go, when Atticus shows up, tell him that I just left. just to
Kid.
Is that cruel?
Yeah.
No, but it's not cruel. What it was is the first thing I wanted to happen was I wanted him to laugh, because if I'm joking about it, then you don't have to be stressed.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I had the opportunity to be a dick, I was going to do it. But Atticus is cool, man. He's got at least when I saw him play, I think he's got a very strong mental, very calm, and at least from what I saw, very calm, very cool. He's going to be very, very good. And
he's great on the bag for you too.
Yeah, he was great caddying for me. He was hilarious, which is fun. So my tip to getting in your head before the round, it's really easy. Where do you play your best golf? Do you play your best golf when you're playing by yourself? Do you play your best golf with your buddies? Do you play your best golf at league night? Do you play your best golf at tournaments? When do you play your best? And then as soon as you figure out where you play your best, replicate that during the round. However you put yourself in that mental place. So I play my best when I'm just happy, having fun. That's how I live my life. I mean, the way I act on this live stream that's me 24 hours a day. I'm always laughing, always having fun. Nothing's bothering me. I'm not getting upset. And so where I'm at my best. So when I go to a tournament, that is the set that I'm going to have before the round and during the round, because that's when I play my best. It might even look like I'm not taking it serious. It's like I'm taking this is extremely serious to me. It's my job, it's my career, it's my life, it's my identity. But I play my best when I'm relaxed, so that's how I'm going to be. That's how I'm always going to be. So that's what you should do too. Put yourself in that mindset. Put yourself where you are. If you're best at league night, like most of us are better at league night than tournaments. If you're better at league night than tournaments because you're laughing, joking, having fun with your buddies, then that's where you should be at tournaments. Don't switch to tournament mode if you play worse. By the way, if you switch to tournament mode and get all serious and play better, well, then that's where you play best. That's where you should be. But that's like 5% of people. 95% better when we're in our happy place.
Say thank you to the new member.
Thank you, Stephen S., new member.
If you join the Discord server and you connect your YouTube account as a member, you get a special tag.
Oh, so if you join my Discord server and connect your YouTube membership, you get a special tag.
And access to premium.
And access to premium stuff channel. You're heading home to Texas next week from Malaysia. Sorry you'll miss you. Enjoy some great folks here. I cannot wait. I will be in Malaysia. Wait, hold on. No, it's not right down here. No, I'll be in Malaysia. I'll be at a tournament in Malaysia like the second week of January.
Is it? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Second week of January. I'm going to be in Malaysia, y'all, playing Frisbee golf.
Right after you do the school stuff in Singapore?
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a bunch of demonstrations in Singapore to I'm going to be, as of right now, we're trying to put together 4 big demonstrations of disc golf within the Singapore school system. And we're going to try to get Singapore disc golf going. I mean, there's already people there that are doing a lot of work. So I'm not taking credit for more than I'm doing, but I'm lending my name to help, and I can't wait. And then it's to Malaysia. That art, Brad, who did it? This artwork right here. This is an artist. His name is Creative Rob, and Creative Rob is the best artist either of us have ever seen. He's our #1 all-time favorite artist ever. And he's out of Austin, Texas, and he is designing. We have a new disc coming out every single month, and we'll have shirts and towels and minis with the artwork. It's called the Stokely Universe, and basically every single drawing. By the way, we have like 4 more pieces already done. We're like 4 months ahead right now with art, but they're all discs that take place in my universe, and they're all themed that way. And oh, here we go. Look at, if you go, yeah, check this out. Look at that. That's a shirt. Can you believe that? These are available at
Do it to the other side so it's not in the tag.
Oh,
that side.
That
Side of your head.
Oh, this side?
Yeah.
I can't follow directions. If I could follow directions, I'd have a job, a real job. But anyway, so this is it's Zone Sporting Goods. You go to scottstokely.net. All the links are there to buy all that stuff. So, let's see. Are you coming out to Western New South Wales while you're here? Great zoo in Dubbo and nice fun little courses and river there. I don't think we're doing Dubbo, are we? No, we're doing Gambier, Canberra.
Canberra's in ACT though, and Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Mm-hmm.
They don't pronounce their R's. Melbourne. Mm-hmm. And then we're doing outside in
you're playing
Geelong.
You're playing
Geelong.
Geelong. And you're doing the Rudolph ride.
I'm doing the Rudolph ride on Saturday. And then that night they were
Aussie disc golf
for the Aussie disc golf days. And then that Saturday night we're getting on a ferry and we're heading to Tasmania for 4 days. Oh, and by the way, you all want to be the first to hear the news? I'm going to give you all some breaking news. If you've followed me, you've seen that I've done a couple world's golf holes. I did one 9.6 miles or something like that. Whatever it was.
The last one?
No, I did like 9.6 miles down a beach in Texas.
Oh yeah.
And then some players in Minnesota broke that record. And so then I went and I played a hole 10.5 miles long across Death Valley. I just played across Death Valley. It was really fun. We're still waiting to put the video up, but we have pictures we posted. But anyways, I am hopefully, if we find the right location, and hopefully with Atticus, are going to be playing the world's longest disc golf hole in Tasmania in a couple weeks. How cool is that? I want to do a 12-hour hole.
So we're maybe
12
trying
miles.
to find like someplace in the outback. There's no gas stations or anything.
Yeah, we can't do the outback. No, the reason we didn't do the outback is because there's not one thing in the outback that doesn't want to freaking kill you. Everything in the outback wants to murder you.
Yeah.
They literally have salties in the middle of the desert. That's how tough Australians are, everybody. They call saltwater crocodiles salties. You know what they call great white sharks? Bites. They do. They call the world's most venomous snake is called a slithy. What? And then the world's most deadly spider is called a creepy crawly. They got adorable names for things that murder. Anyway, and that's what the outback is. If we went to the outback, we would die for sure. Mosquitoes?
Moskies?
They're called malaries.
Moskies. No,
malaries. Anyways. Hey, Scott, we played round 2 together, Australian champs. I was personally a little disappointed in the course. Australia's much better courses to offer. Your thoughts? I thought the course was awesome. I like every single course I play. The course was easy, as far as I like harder. I mean, there's courses on the Pro Tour that I felt were easy and I couldn't break par on them, and I still thought they were easier than they should have been. I just like really, really, really hard courses. And like I was saying earlier, if you want the level of play to improve, the courses got to be hard. They got to be hard. Now, here's the thing. it's easy to say, oh, just make that course longer. But making that course longer, by the way, it's not just longer makes the course harder, but length is part. It's really easy to say. But now you're asking people to go out and trim and use the weed eater and clear the space. And like, it's not just a matter of moving a bathroom. I mean, you have like, it takes hours and hours of manpower for every single little to make that course harder. It's like, it'd be like a year-long commitment to a course that's a temporary course. It's a big ask, but the course was great. I mean, the course was wonderful. I do like harder. So I wouldn't say I was disappointed. I had a great, I just like harder. Hey, Scott, it's a 13-year-old again. I know Jonathan. He coached me in 2020. Okay, so you know Jonathan. He's great, isn't he? He is Jonathan Nicholson, who's teaching Stokely Method seminars. Read about him at scottstokely.net. He's teaching them all 2023. By the way, we posted all 2023 events so far, and like a half dozen of them have already sold out for next year. If y'all want to come to one of the seminars, you have to get your tickets. They're going to sell out, everybody. Yeah, Jonathan, I don't think that guy has a bad bone in his body. I think he's, oh God, he might be the single nicest person in the world. Him and Simon Feasley at RPM Discs. I don't think that either of those, like, I don't think they got a bad bone in them. Alex says, my cousin was depressed and on the edge of ending his life. He went to one of your classes and fell in love with disc golf and found your happiness. Thank you. That's amazing. I message me. Please do me a favor. I don't want to talk personal details like live. Please message me direct, and I would like to hear more about this. I just, I mean, it's not me. I mean, it's the sport of disc golf. It's so great. I mean, if I helped make him better at it so it was more fun, then that's my tiny part. But the reason, because disc golf it's because our sport is so good. I mean, it's like we play the best in the world. I really believe that. In fact, I'm going to tell you all why. This is my theory. I have a very strong theory as to why disc golf is the best sport in the world. And it's not just because it's my sport. Here's why it's the best sport in the world. So the best sport in the world is the game of golf. Broad term, golf. Now, the reason why I say it's the best sport in the world is because take the biggest sports out there. Cricket, soccer in America, you baseball. If you're in New Zealand, rugby. Professional athletes in all of those sports, when they retire, a large percentage of them take up golf. Nobody on the PGA Tour, when they retire from golf, starts playing rugby or cricket. It's a very directional thing. Everybody filters into one game called golf. Sport of golf. Why golf is the greatest sport in the world? Well, disc golf is golf, and disc golf offers all the things that ball golf does. So there's not one thing that ball golf has that disc golf doesn't offer, but disc golf offers additional things to ball golf. It's affordable to play. There's the barrier to entry is just smaller. Like you can go out and play every day because it's inexpensive or free. You can bring your family out to play as much as you want. So there's a lower barrier to entry. It has a shorter time. You don't have to schedule your Saturday after a round. You can stop by after work and play 9 holes in 45 minutes. And the third thing it offers is a far wider variety of terrains to play on. I mean, I know if you're like a serious ball golfer, you'll say every ball golf course in the world is unique. I mean, I know they're all technically unique, but they're all rolling green grass hills with bunkers and rough. I mean, ball golf courses look like ball golf courses. Disc golf courses have, I mean, you can be in the desert, you can be in the mountains, you can be in a public park, a state park, in the woods, open. We can even play on golf courses. So the variety. Oh, and by the way, we play in land that you can't play any other. We can play in junkyards and boulder fields and like we can play in which the variety of disc golf is better. So I would argue that golf is the greatest sport in the world, and that we just came along and made it better. We improved on the greatest sport in the world. So the fact that he fell in love with it is like, I'm credit for all that. Our sport offers all that. I'm happy to know I helped him get a little better, and that maybe made the sport a little more fun. That's all. Thank you for letting me know. Message me direct though. I want to hear more. Number one tip for improving forehand distance. Yeah, call it sidearm. You'll throw farther. Okay. Y'all are gonna think I'm just trying to plug my stuff here. I'm not, and I'll explain why. So the number one tip is to sign up for my 6-month online Become a Complete Disc Golfer class, or you can go to one of Jonathan Nicholson's or Philip Bartholomew's Stokely Method clinics. All that you can find, or seminars at scottstokely.net. I'm not just using this as a transition to sell something. There is no one tip. There just isn't. Anytime someone tries to like say one secret to this, or the one thing that'll make you throw farther, one thing, that's clickbait. Go to a golf shop or any store that sells like golf digest, like ball, football golf digest. And right in the cover, I think they invented clickbait. Right in the cover of the magazine, there'll be an article that says, the number one you can do to make you a good putter. And then they sell magazines because it's like, oh, cool. I just got to, like, there's just one thing I got to do. Well, no, they have a new number one thing every single month. And the people reading Golf Digest who aren't out there putting 3 hours a day, like, they're not getting good at putting. It's not about, there's not one thing. You got to do the whole package. And that's the truth. So the one tip is to have all of your mechanics correct. So I promise I wasn't just trying to sell something based on your question, but that's the honest answer. If I gave you a tip, it would be clickbait. You got to do the whole thing. What are my expectations this year on the Euro Tour? So my expectations are to win every single event. And no, I don't think that's going to happen, but my expectations are always to win. The minute I play a tournament where I'm not expecting to win, I will either not play or change divisions. It's a tournament. I'm there to win. And if I don't believe I have a chance of winning, I'm not going to play in the open division. So I could be a long shot. I'm fine with being a long shot, but I can't be a no shot. So my expectations are to win. I am going to have fun. I'm going to be meeting people from all over the world, all over Europe, getting to compete in all these different places. Like, I can't believe it. Like, I just got, for give you an example, I just got contacted. Well, I got contacted a few times, and I've been in discussions. I'm going to be in Germany for a week. There's a film crew that wants to make a documentary about my trip to Germany. It's like, what is going on here? Don't you understand that, like, I play, in my mind, I'm still playing this game that no one's ever heard of, that no one but us cares about. And now all of a sudden, like, oh, you're going to be in Germany. Oh, let's make a movie about it. Like, so my expectations are that there's going to be a lot of things like that that are going to blow my mind every single week. And it's going to be so much fun. What is the best way to try and go pro for a young guy, 15? So here's what you want to do. The single most important part as far as becoming a pro disc golfer is your mechanics. Mechanics trumps everything. Every single person on the pro tour throws right. Now, everybody throws what appears to be a little differently. Like Matteo doesn't look like Ricky, and Ricky doesn't look like Paul. They're all throwing correctly. In fact, they're all throwing the same way. It looks different because they have 3 different bodies they're working with. So their mechanics are going to look different. But fundamentally, they're all doing the exact same things. So mechanics trumps everything. I've never, ever, my entire life, seen a player, watched them throw, saw great mechanics. and then they weren't good. I've never seen it happen. I don't care if they're a complete mental case. If their mechanics are good, they're a mental case who's winning tournaments, and you're like, how does that guy win? He's got the worst mental game in the world, and he's still winning. Yeah, their mechanics are good. I've seen players out there that have really strong mental games. If their mechanics aren't good, they're not good. I don't care how strong their will to win is or how much they practice. If their mechanics are bad, they're not good. So number one thing you got to do is you have to get good mechanics. That's it. That's the first and foremost thing. And then if you want to go pro, well, first off, going pro is just a matter of switching divisions, but you got to be committed to doing it and pulling the trigger on it. You know, I'll give you the biggest life lesson you're ever going to learn. 97% of people in the world, and many of these people are my best friends in the world, and I love them to death. I'm not knocking them. I'm just stating my observation. 97% of the people in the world talk about doing things and don't do them. You know, for every person that's opened up a restaurant, another 20 people have really cool restaurant ideas. One person does it. You know, for every 20 people, pros who talk about going to tour next year, does it. So the biggest thing you got to do is you got to have the courage to go out and go for the things you want, and don't be afraid to fail. You know, the minute you're afraid to fail, you fail. Like, you got to be willing to fail, and then by the way, after you're willing to fail, you fail. Like, you're just going to. You're going to go on a tour, and you're going to have bad weeks or maybe a bad season. Heck, you could go out for 5 years and not have a good season and then never go out again. But that's not failing. Failing is not going out because you're afraid of failing. That's failing. And so you got to be willing to pull the trigger on the idea. Don't talk about it. Just do it. Nothing's going to stop you. Want to be a pro disc golfer? Be pro. Want to go on tour? Go on tour. So that's the biggest thing. So easy to say, right? It's not easy. But if you don't do that, you're one of the 97% who's like 40 years old going, oh, I wish I had done this, or I wish I had done that. It's like, don't be that person. Go after what you want. Be fearless. I'm a bomber. Do you think they should keep making courses long or work on requiring more touch and placement to make them more challenging? So I don't think courses are too long, because every single hole out there, like on the pro tour, not everyone. There are some bomber holes that are like wide open, but all the players like hate those holes. Even the ones who throw far and are good at them don't like those holes. So they all require touch. And you have 400-foot holes. If you're a bomber, that requires a shorter approach shot. It requires touch. Like, if you have to throw 150 meters and 150 meters, well, those are two drives. But if you can throw, let's say 150 meters, let's say 130 meters and 130 meters, those are two drives. Well, if you can throw 160 meters, well, then your approach shot's 100 meters. Well, now you're looking at it would be a touch shot, especially if you're capable of throwing 160 meters. 100 meters is a touch shot. So if the holes are designed well, they all require touch, and they all require placement. And that's not because I throw far. I mean, first off, lots of people, maybe not a lot, but there's players out there that throw farther than me right now. But as long as holes are challenging, I don't have a problem whatsoever with them being long. It's not boring. Wide open long holes, everyone hates those. Even the players that are out there that crush on them, they don't like playing those courses. No one does. What do you think about the Aussie competition? The players down here are good. I mean, a couple of them beat me, so I'm not going to talk smack. I got whooped by a couple of them. They're good. They're good. It's just, and I'm not saying anything out of turn. I think everybody would agree. It's a step behind. It's a step behind the U.S. and Europe. And even the European players are still just a tad behind the U.S. players. The gap is getting a lot smaller. I mean, even Simon won 3 pro tour events, but he lived here for 10 years or however long he was here, competing with the U.S. players. So I would say that Australia is just on a timeline. and they're progressing along. Well, I can't say progressing. I wasn't here 5 years ago to see it, but from what I've learned, that everyone's kind of progressing along this timeline, and so Australia is just a little bit behind. The thing is that Australia will catch up because the level of play isn't going to get much higher than it is now. Like when I played in the 90s, like I laughed at I knew how far we were from where we were going to get because I threw back 100 feet farther than anyone else on tour, and I threw sidearms 150 feet farther than anyone else on tour, and that's with speed 7 discs. And I kept thinking, I'm not like statistically, like you can't have that much of an outlier. That would be like everybody's running the 100-meter dash in 10 seconds and then one person runs it in 7 seconds. Like, come on, give me a break. Like, that's never going to happen. The 100-meter dash will be broke by fractions because the level has gotten to a point of the limits of physical ability. I think, in my opinion, we're getting pretty darn close to that now. I mean, if it's not Paul and Ricky, Gannon's pretty damn close. Like, it's not going to get much better than that. In 100 years, it won't be much higher than Paul McBeth and Gannon Burr are today. So the acceleration on the U.S. end has basically not stopped, but it's basically plateaued. Europe is getting pretty close. So what's going to happen with Australia, New Zealand, and everywhere is that it's going to keep accelerating here because y'all are nowhere near where your ceiling is going to be. And that gap between the U.S. and Australia and New Zealand, it's going to just keep shrinking. So there's no question that's going to happen. So you all are on a timeline, and you all will wind up right where the U.S. and top European players are. It'll get there.
Yeah, and with all the training available now, especially since you're touring the world teaching everybody.
Yeah. You want me to plug my class?
That's
yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So Jane says, she says, especially with me out teaching everybody how to play, come to my clinics. I know. I always hesitate on the real obvious segues. I leave the low hanging fruit there because I always feel like it's too easy. It's kind of like, it's almost like political humor. Is the PDGA rating system future proof? Could someone achieve an 1100 rating at some point if they were that good? I mean, in theory, if someone shoots 1100 rated rounds, they could. It's completely subjective, but I don't think that level of play will ever exist as a normal level of play. Here's why. So there's a thing called the law of large numbers. When you have a large enough data pool, you can derive some really predictable information from it. It's one of the reasons why, as much as anyone wants to disagree with this, you're incorrect if you do. The rating system is good. It's very good. And I mean, it's based on scores. I mean, it's based on the things you can quantify, how many strokes you threw a course in compared to how many strokes other players threw a course in. Compare your ratings to theirs. I mean, the system is good. You get predictable. There's such a large data pool. You're going to get predictable numbers. Well, the level of play was increasing faster, but the increasing level of play is slowing down. So as it slows down, it's not all of a sudden going to jump. Like that does happen when you have 15 million people playing a sport. You can always have an outlier pop out here or there. But those outliers, the larger the data pool, the closer the outlier is going to be. So back in the 70s, you potentially could have had an outlier that was so much better than everybody else. And then in the 90s, you had an outlier that was so much better than everybody else, but the pool was smaller. Could you see a person win 12 world titles in a row from here on out? No, it will not happen again. If you had a crystal ball, I would bet everything I owned against $1 of yours that nobody wins 12 world titles in the next 1,000 years. The pool size, if the pool size remained the same size, it's just the data size is big enough where you can't have, it's called deviation from the mean. You're like, it can't deviate that much mathematically. So I think that we are very close to the peak of play. I don't think we're there yet. Like there are things. I'll give you an example of an area where we're not quite there yet. Jones throws the grenade. Better than anyone who has ever played the game has thrown the grenade. Well, Kevin Jones has a backhand and a sidearm and a roller and a skip shot and a finesse shot and an Anheuser and a Heiser. He's a very complete, high level golfer. And there's times where he throws the grenade. You could make the case that whenever he throws the grenade, that is the correct shot for that hole. It was the grenade. The reason you can make that case is because a player that has every shot in the world, including a grenade of that level, chose to throw the grenade. Other players aren't throwing the grenade because they either don't have the shot or they're not as good at it. Well, that means on that particular shot, according to that logic, Kevin had a competitive advantage over the competition by throwing a shot with a slightly better chance of success that other players haven't learned. Okay, well, that tells me that if everybody learned to have a grenade as good as KJ, that, once a round or once every other round, there would be a hole where they could have a slightly increased chance of birdie if they had the grenade. So, of course, we're not at our ceiling. There's somebody out there who's still an outlier in a part of the game that no one's caught up with. So we can't be at the top yet because not everybody has that shot. As far as everybody, like the plateau being, or the game being as high level as it could be, right? He's obviously doing something other people aren't. Clearly, we're not there yet. But I think that grenade gives you 4 strokes around. I think it might average out to a quarter of a stroke around or a tenth of a stroke around. So you're not going to see, we're not going to get that much of a jump. That's a really long, wordy answer, huh? How about that? But yeah, I don't think we're going to see it. Disc speed, other than flight observations, how would one measure the speed of the disc they were throwing? I mean, it's basically rim depth. Basically, right?
The what?
Disc speed is like rim depth. Mm-hmm. But it's still subjective. I don't think, does the PDGA actually require you to do a certain speed? Like,
oh, it's closing. I was just trying to hold it.
Let's see. Okay. No, we got to open it back up. I know it's backlit, but it's like.
No, it's automatic. I was just trying to pull this corner.
Sydney Harbor.
The whole thing closed on its
own. Sydney Harbor is prettier than me. So therefore, we should be showing Sydney Harbor, not me.
I wasn't trying to close it.
I said, I wish it wasn't so backlit. You see the Harbor Bridge? Look at that.
If you move your head, it adjusts the lights so they can get a good.
Like this?
No, just stop.
Wait, hold on. Wait, it's working. It's working. Look.
Yeah.
You can see the bridge better. Now watch.
Get off to the side.
There it goes. Well, hold on. Wait, hold on. If I do this, will the bridge get clearer? Kind of. Look at it. I'm making.
Stop. No, move that way for 2 seconds.
Okay, right. This way more?
No, the other way.
The other way?
A little bit more. And it'll adjust.
Oh, I see, because it's no longer focused on me.
Yeah, let them see.
Ow. Well, that was way easier than my approach.
All right, now you can block it again.
That's why I keep you around, among many other reasons. But that's the main one. Let's see, am I selling you discs as you tour Australia, or where do you need to purchase online? Yes, I will have my Tour Series discs available. You can also purchase them at scottstokely.net. All of my tour discs are available at scottstokely.net. That's the that's where you get all my tour stuff. If you want to support what I do, hey, here's another reason. If you want to support what I do, when I go to places like Malaysia and Singapore. Singapore, they might actually, it's from the government, they might actually pay me. But when I go to Malaysia, I'll be in Cambodia, I'll be in Thailand. Next year, I'll be doing some work, hopefully in India. I'll be in Tanzania, Ethiopia, South Africa, Kenya. When I'm promoting disc golf, I'm teaching, I'm doing clinics. Everything I do is completely free. I'm paying for it all out of my own pocket. I'm going to these places, I'm flying, getting hotel rooms, and just promoting disc golf for free. The reason I'm able to do this is because people sign up for my online classes, people come to my clinics, and people buy discs online. So it's not like I'm not a 501c3. I don't take donations. By the way, all my special needs classes, same thing. I don't charge for all my special needs classes. I donate all my prize money to special needs organizations. I gave $500 to Western Australia Down Syndrome Association after the Aussie Nationals. But I don't take donations.
But the reason
what
you
I do
have to
the
offer
way
them for free is
the way but the reason no but the so the way I'm able to do all these things for free is because I sell discs on my website, and so you are contributing to golf promotion around the world when you support what I do. I just don't do a direct cash transaction for it.
Right. But the reason you don't charge in Cambodia and other places is because it's unsustainable for them to come.
No, yeah. So that's the thing. So when we go to these countries where the economy is different, like they don't. A lot of these countries don't have an economy that would allow them to spend the type of money to have me there. Like I would have to charge like $1 or maybe 50 cents, or something like that for a clinic. And it's like, why would I'm not going to charge $1 and then make $30 at a clinic when I can make it free, and instead of having 30 people show up, have 60. So that's kind of the way I do things. So go to scottstokely.net, buy my stuff, and it'll wind up teaching disc golf around the world at some point. One hole, 27 par Aspen. Is it longer than that? Yes. I played that hole in Aspen. I played it the first year down the mountain. Yeah, it's way longer than that. I played a 9.5 and then like a 10.5 mile hole in the 10.5 in Death Valley, but the one I'm doing in Tasmania is going to be 20 kilometers. It's going to be 12 miles, 12 point something miles.
Do you have a location yet?
I got a couple locations sent to me.
Oh, okay. I didn't get the update on that.
No, I posted to the Tasmania disc golf page, and we got a few suggestions. So I don't see any reason why it's not happening. Me and Atticus are going to set a world longest hole record. So yeah, it's way longer. It's going to be like par 250. Best tip for finding your disc. Yeah, there's one only. Pay attention when it goes in. If you actually focus on from the tee pad where the line was, where it went in, get a gauge on the tree from the tee pad. If you drew a line, you'll have much better time. Players throw bad shots, and by the way, I'm guilty of this too. You throw a bad shot and you turn around. That's a bad idea.
Cover your face.
Yeah, you cover your face, or you're just watching it and you're too busy thinking, this sucks that I just threw my shot in the woods. No. Pay attention to what tree it hits. A lot of times you can just get a gauge. That one tree with the knot on it this high, it hit that one and it kicked left 90 degrees from there. Well, once you do that, you will never lose a disc. Never, right? But never.
Except in the snow.
What's the craziest weather conditions I've ever played a tournament in? Oh, well, the craziest I'm going to play a tournament in is they have a tournament in Antarctica, and I will make it down there someday. There's a research station that has, I guess they have 9 baskets.
Is there really?
Yeah, well, I think they do. They play a tournament. They play the Antarctic Open or something like that. I want to do that. Craziest weather ever. God, what would that be?
Freaking Waco. No,
yeah.
It was Idlewild, I guess. Which one?
Idlewild? No, that was just rain.
But the wind was so bad.
Wind and rain. I'm trying to think of the windiest round. I don't think I've ever played around in the wind. No. Yeah, there was a turn. I guess this is not going to be an interesting story. There was a tournament in Berkeley one year where it was unplayable when you threw into the headwind. You couldn't lay up from 10 feet because your disc would pick up and roll 100 feet behind you. But I've seen windier rounds online than I have ever played in.
The guy that's pitching at that elevated basket in the wind and just
he keeps putting the basket. It keeps going behind him. So I guess I haven't played in anything too crazy. Is a 13-year-old too young to try to get sponsored? It's absolutely not too young. You should try to get sponsored. There is a link on my YouTube channel that says how anyone can get sponsored. That is what you need to watch, because that is all about getting sponsored and why winning pro tournaments is the least relevant part of your sponsorship as far as getting sponsorship. So right off the bat, a number of the manufacturers, and I don't want to be partisan and I don't want to play favorites, because who you like is going to be what's best for you. But most of the manufacturers have some kind of sponsorship opportunities for junior players. But the local pro shop, if you have a local pro shop in your area, is also a great place to sponsor, to talk to about that. But before you do any of that, watch my video on how to get sponsored, and it'll tell you everything you need to know. We have a lag. Is it possible to throw 360 shots farther next step off the tee? Could you see a time when another technique takes the X step for distance? I mean, no, I think Canada pretty much nailed it down. The 360, 360s, we called them turnarounds, 360s, absolutely make discs fly farther. And if you go to my Instagram, I've pinned to the top of my videos a video of me throwing a 360 sidearm, which, by the way, I invented that shot. No one in the world did it before me. And when I set the world sidearm distance record, I used the 360 on the sidearm. I threw 600 feet, measured with laser at 600 feet at a clinic in front of a whole ton of people, 360 sidearm. And every single backhand distance record is with a 360. So for sure, 360 makes you throw farther. There is a point of diminishing return because you lose a little bit of accuracy. You can throw pretty darn accurate 360, but you'll not as accurate. So it's not as often going to be used on the golf course, but it will be. But as far as the time when another technique overtakes the X step for distance, I don't think so. When I teach with the Stokely method, basically I talk about the distance. Everything I teach is geared towards throwing with power. If your weight's above your hips, you rotate faster, like a figure skater with their arms in, not out. I talk about how you plant first because then the whip cracks. Well, the whip cracking is the tip of the whip breaking the speed of sound. If you were cracking a bullwhip, well, if your foot is the handle of the whip and your fingertips are the tip of the whip, if the handle gets there first, meaning your foot plants first, then the whip cracks. Well, the whip cracking is the acceleration of the end of the whip, which is your fingertips. So everything I talk about is geared towards throwing farther. So if there was a way to throw farther, I'll say pretty confidently, like there's not going to be a way of throwing farther than is currently thrown. There's going to be people who get better, like, even though I think we're still, even that though, we're not that far from the ceiling. The players today aren't throwing harder than I was when I was setting the world records. I mean, and that's based on radar speed guns. I mean, we got pretty quantifiable evidence they're not throwing harder now. So, like, I think I was pretty close to the ceiling back then. I don't think I was at the ceiling. That would be arrogant, but I think I was close.
And no, that's not Eagle hurt his arm.
What? No, yeah, Eagle didn't hurt his arm throwing a 360 side. He was goofing off doing a certain type of show.
That's one of the ones that every time you post one of those, they're like, that's how Eagle hurt his arm. Don't do it.
Yeah. Well, I invented that throw, and I won't hurt my arm throwing it. What's the point of learning backhand when players like Kramer can get on lead cards with only a forehand throw? Wouldn't it make sense to double down on perfecting one style of throw? Absolutely 100% no. James Conrad throws mostly backhands. Both of those players are better players if they throw both throws. So here's the deal. It has nothing to do with backhand and sidearm. It has to do with being able to spin the disc clockwise and counterclockwise. When you throw a backhand and you're right-handed, every single disc, when it runs out of spin, which is basically the end of its flight, is going to fade to the left. Some fade a lot, some fade a little, but they all fade that direction. That is the natural tendency of the disc. Because the disc fades to the left, it means throwing a shot that goes left, you do not have to be as perfect angle, because the fade of the disc will compensate for getting the angle off. When you throw an anhyzer, a shot that turns to the right and an opposite turn, there is a much larger margin for error. If you're off a little bit on the angle, because that disc fades, it is not forgiving at all. You need to be more perfect on an anhyzer throw than you do on a hyzer throw. So mathematically, that means if I have to get within 5 degrees of my angle to execute the shot, and Kramer has to get in 2 degrees of his angle to execute the shot, if we are identically skilled players, I will beat him on that throw the vast majority of times. Now, if Kramer is better than another player, he could throw his sidearm anhyzer more accurately than a player with less skill can throw the backhand hyzer, but only to the point that it's because the player has less skill. It doesn't mean it's a better shot. When you throw anhyzers, you're throwing a more difficult throw, right? It's just mathematically more difficult to execute. The margin for error is larger. Now, there are times when you have to throw an anhyzer because that's the flight of the disc that is required for the shot. If I was to throw a shot that I needed to turn to the right and then at the end of its flight fade left and penetrate forward, I am required to throw an anhyzer for that shot. I got to take my harp, for instance, turn it over, have it turn to the right, and have it fade left at the end. But that is a situational shot that I do with a sidearm hyzer. So it's not that you always throw hyzers, but most of the time those are better. And this is the truth. I mean, there's not a player in the world, and I'm a 53-year-old man. There's not a player in the world that can throw a backhand anhyzer as accurately as I can throw a sidearm hyzer. Period. Then that doesn't mean I'm better than them. I'm ranked 103rd in the world. I think that's probably about right. Like I said, I'm an average touring player. I don't think I'm better than my rating or results show. I'm about average tour player, but I'm better at sidearm hyzers than anyone's better at an anhyzer just because I have a smaller margin for error than they do when throwing that shot. So no, you have to have the complete game. Just because there's the occasional outlier, the James Conrad and the Chandler Kramer, who are very good at what they do, they're good in spite of the fact that they're playing a more difficult game than the players that have every shot. 100% for sure this is the case. Let's see. Would I want to come to Minnesota this spring, teach disc golf to my students? I would love that, except I am in Australia and I'm not going to be in the US for another 2.5 years. I'm going to be traveling the world playing and teaching disc golf all over the world. So I will not be there. Now, having said that, if you go to scottstokely.net, there's seminars happening all over the country being taught by Jonathan Nicholson and Philip Bartholomew. And this is going to be cool. I have another thing I can plug. I have a website called discgolflessons.com. And that is a directory of disc golf teachers all over the world. And I'm trying really hard to grow it. So there might only be 30 or 40 or 50 teachers on there right now posting, but there might be one in Minnesota. If you go to discgolflessons.com. What kind of disc do I think Glenn Danzig would throw? He would probably throw, let's see. Glenn Danzig would probably throw a max weight, for sure max weight. He would probably throw an anvil. I don't know why. It just seems like the type of person that would throw an anvil.
Who's Danzig?
What?
Like Danzig?
From the Misfits.
Oh.
Yeah, I would go anvil on that one.
Like a chainsaw or something?
A chainsaw? No. He works out too much. That goes against the whole goth-ish thing. I always thought to spend so much time to be a gym rat too. I always thought those they kind of contradicted each other.
It does, because it defeats the aesthetic too. Like goths are all like.
I know, but then again, I also like the fact that he he also says he doesn't fit the mold, right? Which is also very cool because.
Well, doesn't that make him punk then?
Yeah, it is very punk. The most punk I ever knew refused to get tattoos because he didn't want to look like everyone else.
Yeah, well, it's not really punk if you're just wearing a uniform.
No, it's not. It's not very. But you still got. But you still like. It's still tribal. You still got to wear your uniform partially. Like you still like. You know what I mean? There's still that little bit. I don't know. It's a very fine line of non-conforming. But if you're trying to non-conform just to non-conform, well, then you're kind of conforming to the non-conformity mindset.
Well, so, you're acknowledging that there's a conformity to conform to by defining it.
Right. Yeah. I know it gets very, very, very confusing. You know, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's very confusing. What would a cat consider maximum average range of experienced sidearm throwers? I'm going to call it sidearm. I don't care. I'm fighting this forehand trend. It's called sidearm. It's been called sidearm since the beginning. Everyone's calling it forehand now. The average maximum range nowadays. I mean, you should have a 400-foot sidearm. You know, I mean, I'm throwing like off a tee pad. I'm still comfortable like between 5 and 550. I can throw sidearms without killing myself. But that's also farther than everybody else out on tour. So I would say a 400-foot sidearm that's comfortable. But not talking about a maximum flex shot S turn, but I mean like you step up, you line up your shot. You don't have to do some weird high Anheuser throw, but you could actually just throw one kind of flat and have it fade out. Like I would say, at least in that 400 range is minimum that most of the players out on tour are doing, give or take.
Is that what you describe as like golf distance?
Yeah, like golf distance. Like, yeah, there's golf distance and there's distance. You know, like golf distance, you know, I mean, generally speaking, you want to try to, I think you're throwing 450 backhand and sidearm comfortably without having to like really do too much. Anything is fairly bonus. But most of the courses out there, the vast majority of long holes, well, if you can throw a 450-foot golf shot, and when I say golf shot, I mean, like I'm throwing this disc backhand, right? A golf shot might be a shot, like forget that it's a harp. Let's say it's a fairway driver, ballista or something, right? You know, I take that disc here, I throw it, it pops up flat, it flies basically straight, and then it kind of fades at the end. It's low, it's controlled. That's like a golf shot. Where a shot where I take this disc here and I throw it up really, really high up in the air with an Anheuser, and then it fades out, and I'm able to control it, and it penetrates forward after riding the wind. That's like a distance throw. You need to be able to throw a 400-foot golf shot. That's kind of the range that you kind of have to have out on tour. There are holes, plenty of holes that are obviously longer than that, but most of them have landing zones where you can't throw much more than 500 at the most, or they have out of bounds where there's room to throw 600 feet, but you wouldn't try to throw 600 feet because you're putting out of bounds into place. You're not seeing a lot of 600-foot throws out there, even though a lot of players out there can throw 600 feet. Most of the time you're throwing controlled shots. So that's minimum. Obviously, if you throw farther, there's times you can use it. But a 450-foot golf shot, and most players are throwing comfortably over 400 sidearm golf shots. So there's still a little room to go there, but they'll get up there because 450 sidearm is not that big of a deal. I mean, that's like a baseball pitcher, high school freshman probably has the arm speed for a 450-foot sidearm. So it's not some real unobtainable level. It's far, but it's not outlier far. Someone should mention long-term damage this does on your shoulder. 30-plus year player. Please clarify the damage on the shoulder, because there shouldn't be damage on your shoulder from throwing. So I would clarify. Do you mean like throwing sidearms would do long-term damage on your shoulder? Is that what you're referring to? But I want to talk about shoulder damage. But so please clarify that. What about Van Halen? You mean the most overrated band in history next to Journey? That Van Halen? Um, I will tell you something about Van Halen. Y'all ready to have your minds blown? Your minds are about to be blown. Van Halen is the first rock band to play disc golf. How about that for some real deep disc golf trivia? So here's locking out of Flint Ridge, rich person town. Over here is Altadena. That's a much poorer person town. In between those two was now called, Chavez Ravine, which is where Oak Grove Park was located. Oak Grove Park went into the ground in 1976. Well, over here in La Cañada, David Lee Roth lived. Over here in Altadena, Eddie Van Halen and I think his brother played, and the other one lived in there. And they formed this band called Van Halen. And apparently, way back then, Van Halen sucked, and no one wanted to listen to them. But every once in a while, they would go down to Oak Grove Park, and they would set up a generator. And since Oak Grove Park was a party park back in the 70s, they would go down and they would play down at Oak Grove Park. And so Van Halen performed at Oak Grove Park in the 70s. And everybody that played then would, grab a beer and a Frisbee and play Frisbee golf. So Van Halen, I want to talk. I want to put the Bobby. No, when you get to it about ICP, when you see it. Okay, so what Van Halen? I think they were the first rock band to play disc golf.
What disc did they throw?
Oh, they would have thrown Super Pros back then. I don't think they were doing golf weight whammo frisbees back then, or maybe they were using golf weight whammo frisbees, but they're probably playing with Masters frisbees. But yeah, they would have been the first band to play. Did I throw any fourth circle discs? I did not throw any fourth circle discs, but I'd be happy to try them when I'm down here. I'd be happy to throw them. I've heard good things. You're leaving on tour with Twisted, the music group of Insane Clown Posse. And you're a disc golfer. Are you for real? People hate you. Okay. I'm sponsored Disc Golf America. All right, make him wait. Hold on a second. Screenshot his name. I want to go look him up. Okay, so here's the thing about ICP. ICP's reputation has turned. Okay, like they've been doing it long enough that I think culturally the reputation is not what it used to be. Like if you watch a video on YouTube now about ICP, they're pretty much good. They're pretty much complimentary. Like they've been around for so long, right? And the whole Juggalo thing was like, oh, look at these losers, look at these whatever, da 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 da. And I think the general public, like I would never have thought something like that. I think that's really shitty, right? But a lot of people thought that, you know this. And I think that people are starting to get that there's something to people not having somebody and having a tribe and having a group. And ICP messages are pretty damn positive. Like when you really look into it, they're not telling people to fuck up. They're telling people to improve themselves. And the other thing is that everyone's interaction with those guys has been good. So like Juggalo Championship Wrestling has a reputation of paying well, always paying on time. Like no one's getting screwed by the promoters when they're wrestling for the Juggalos. And it's, I don't know. I think this is one of those things where history is going to remember ICP in a very positive light. I really, truly think that's going to happen. I've been fascinated just watching the whole thing because, that's not what people used to think 10 years ago. And go search for YouTube now. It's almost all positive stuff. It's really bizarre. So people don't hate you. I think they did 10 years ago. I think they hated you a lot for no reason, but I think they did. But I don't think that's what you get now. I mean, have you got that same impression? You're from Michigan.
It's been a long time since I've been in Michigan. So
yeah, you were from Michigan. You were from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bobby. I think that is. I think the world's changing. And again, I think historically, people are going to look back. It's not going to be negative. Nothing about them is going to be a negative. anyone who hated on them, guess who's still making? Guess who's still successful?
Yeah, it's hard to hate on people that have a track record of like positivity.
A track record,
even if you were wrong at the beginning.
Yeah, I think actually, I'll tell you what. I think most of the hate are people that have just dug their heels in and are never going to change their minds. But yeah, hey, yeah. So if you know those guys, yeah, connect me to them. Oh my God, let's have them on the podcast. Holy cow! Well, I'll interview them. We'll talk about, if they disc golf, I'll talk about disc golf. Oh my God, please make that happen. I will do anything to. Oh my God, that would be the coolest thing ever. Please, 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 please. You can tell them that well, I just talked to you for 5 minutes. I know a little bit about what I'm talking about, right? Right? A little bit. You can right now? No way. That would be so cool. All right. That's epic. All right. I want to do that. All right. So message me offline. Thanks, man.
Hey, Dave McCormick.
Dave McCormick. Dave McCormick of Gateway Discs just joined us. Dave McCormick is the one who made the Assassin, the best roller disc ever made. He also wizard, always like pretty much considered the best putter ever made. I mean, like it's obviously one of the it gets voted #1 all the time. Holy cow! That'd be so cool. Like sorry, I'm a little distracted by the fact that would be like epic. Also because I'm a pro wrestling guy, so like talking to the Juggalo Championship Wrestling people would be amazing. No way, I didn't know that.
What?
Shaggy 2 Dope and some other guy made a video of them playing disc golf. That is the thing. Holy cow, I'll send them some discs. Epic. Too epic. Yeah, I love it. Love everything about this. So, I'd love to interview them if they were into it. I would be so, like, that would be such an honor. You got Shaggy on hold? No way. No way. This is cool. All right. Yeah, but message me direct. Message me direct and we'll connect on that. That is too great, man. That is sick. If they play and they know who I am, that'd be a perfect hookup. So he says now or never, but give him 10 minutes. He says now or never. Give him 10 minutes. So he can do it now? Wait. Does that mean he can get on the show with me?
He's got to message you so I can get him the link.
Oh, okay. So we'll send him the link. No way. Wait a second. You got Shaggy? That would be so great. All right. Sorry. 10 minutes. Unbelievable. I'll tell you what, y'all give me just a second then. Let me just take a 1 minute break. Don't go anywhere. Here, I'll let everybody look at
Sydney Harbor.
Sydney Harbor. All right. Hold on. Yeah. So perfect. All right. Oh, can you grab me another cup of like a fancy espresso? Bro, living hell out of your legs, slip on the tee pad, just now getting back after a ton of surgeries. Oh, no way. Now my sidearm's nearly possible because I'll torque in my ankle. Any advice? God, I it's really hard because like you're in with an injury, like I can't tell you like turn your foot this way or do that. Yeah, I wish let's see. Oh, hold on. The person in charge, Bobby, just stepped out for just like 1 sec. Bobby, Bobby says he's going to connect me to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Send him a message on Facebook.
Yeah, send a message. Yeah, you got to send a message on Facebook, and we'll get you the link. Let's see. So I don't want to give you the bad advice for that. I mean, I just don't. It's. I can tell you this: the sidearm's mostly an arm throw, so you can get away with less legs. That would be the best advice I could give, is that you don't have to use a lot of run up. That's actually, yeah, that's not really good advice though. But it's hard to say without watching you throw. And I'm not a doctor anyways. I don't want to give bad advice when it comes to an injury. Like if I told you to do something and all of a sudden your leg snapped again, that would not be good. Let's see. Derek here with C1 in the Morning Podcast in Michigan. Yeah, Derek here with C1 in the Morning Podcast. Message me direct. I'll join on anytime. And for sure, 100%. Just message me, and I'd love to be on your show. All right, Bobby, did you message on Facebook directly? Okay, we're still waiting. Message on my personal Facebook page. Or that, yeah, that's what I need to do to be able to connect you. Is I got to be able to send you the link. But if you message me directly on Facebook, I'll send you the link.
We use streaming software. So
Yeah.
You can't just hit
Live. We use streaming softwares, Bobby. So we can't just click you in like if it was on Facebook. We have to send you a link that you would plug into your browser to do it. Oops. You don't see it yet? No, we need you to send me a message on. No, you got to send me a message on Facebook for me to reply, or for Jane to reply with the link. Because we use software. I can't send you anything directly in. I can't send you anything in this software that we're using right now. So you got to go off the stream and message me directly to my Facebook account, and we'll get you on there. But yeah, we'll be on that show in Michigan. Let's see.
Also send you some swag.
Oh, we can't send me anything. I'm in a different city every single day, somewhere in the world, and we have like a suitcase and a backpack. That's everything we own. Oops, hold on. Wait, hold on, wait. Oh, I didn't mean to click. I clicked delete comment by mistake. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, I tried touching the software, and I just deleted one of the comments by mistake. So that's how much I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, so message us in Facebook direct, and we'll reply with a login link for you. You can get off your phone then and get in the studio for sure. Yeah, but if you message. It'll work through the phone, but you just got to message me a direct Facebook message in Facebook Messenger, and we'll get there.
All right, somebody else needs to talk to you. We're out of the comments.
Okay, we're out of the comments, but we're waiting for ICP to join us. That was the most recent thing. Bobby's gonna let them connect me to Shaggy, right? Yep. Oh, Bobby says he did. Okay, hold on. So give us a second, Bobby. We'll find it. So everybody hang in here. It's going to be worth waiting for, I promise.
Make conversation.
Yeah, make conversation. I'll entertain everybody. I can sing. I can dance. I can flex my massive 53-year-old muscles. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Favorite band? Well, it's about to be ICP. But before I met ICP on my show, it was Guar, of course. Of course. It's about to be ICP because Guar's never been on my podcast. Guar's never been on my show. So Guar's about to be my second favorite band.
Mm-hmm. Still not seeing the message.
Okay, so I'm still not seeing the message in Facebook. On Facebook, either my disc golfer page or the regular page. Let's see. Don't anybody leave. What is it? Where we? Let's see. Can you see Bobby Blakester? Can you search for him in? He's on Facebook. Can you search for his name on Facebook and message him? I don't want to miss this opportunity. This is way too cool.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Rip Eddie. Yeah, I know. Or Rip Eddie or Dave Brocky. Oh, Van Halen. Oh, Van Halen. Eddie Van Halen. Yeah. That was sad, but sadder when Dave Brocky died from Gore. That was the saddest moment. I cried. I cried for like a while.
Mm-hmm.
I did. Dave Brocky was the best. Haven't got the request. We haven't seen the message come through yet, so we're going to get it to you. Let's see. All right. We got a message, the question that came through. We're trying to find it. We're trying to find the message, Bobby.
Stop touching stuff.
I'm touching stuff. Okay, you signed up for the 6-month class, but live in the mountains with lots of snow. I thought I'd be able to get by, but I wonder if I can without being able to throw outside. I have a net set up at the end of my cabin about 30 feet. You think it'll still be beneficial? Yeah, 100% beneficial. You can throw into a net. I mean, yeah, in a perfect world, it's best to be outside, but it's also on the flip side. That's like the negative part. Outside's still a little better, but on the other side is you're going to get to actually improve your game and improve your game in the middle of the winter in the mountains. So when spring comes along, you'd be throwing better. For sure, you're going to throw better if you're, for sure, if you're outside. I mean, if you're inside though, because it's just mechanics. If you were taking golf lessons, we could do it in a pro shop because we're just working on your swing. So yes, it's absolutely going to will benefit you to do this out inside as well as the same as out. I mean, it's just mechanics. You just don't get the feedback of seeing the disc fly. But when we watch you throw, we're still going to be able to see were the mechanics right or not. Good advice for a 46-year-old man, 7 months in. I hate to do this. Sign up for my 6-month online, become a complete disc golfer class. Having correct mechanics is everything. If you have correct mechanics, not only will you be better, but you will also get better way faster. Bad mechanics, there's just a ceiling on you. And no matter how much you practice, that ceiling is going to keep you from getting better if your mechanics aren't good. Also, when you get older, not that 46 years is old, but 47 is really old. So you're only like a year away from going from not old at all to really old. And when you're really old, you can get injured. Things hurt. Correct mechanics don't rule out the possibility of getting sore or things hurting because we're still playing a sport, but it significantly reduces the impact on the body. I mean, it will make it easier for sure. So I suggest going to scottstokely.net, signing up for the 6-month class. And I'm not just trying to sell you something. I believe 100% that that's the most effective thing you can do right now. If I could play around with anyone, living or dead, who would you play with on what course? Well, it would be with Shaggy Too Dope. No, I would play with Charles Darwin, and I would play at the Galapagos State Park disc golf course that isn't there yet.
Ooh, we should put one.
Put one in Galapagos?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, a disc golf course in the Galapagos Islands. You know how many environmentalists would hate us? Like, I would almost hate me for doing that. That's something about that. Although people live there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if there's a community of people living there, then we might be able to play. So yeah. Maybe we need to get one on the Galapagos Islands. Maybe that should be my life's mission.
Mm-hmm.
Right, with all the finches and the tortoise. Any luck on Bobby Blakester's message?
They're working on it.
Oh, we're working on it. So is someone going to pop in? Let's see. Preferred adult drink. Moonshine? I don't drink. My preferred adult drink is the espresso that Jane's about to go get me. Moonshine. I drank once. It was absolutely most horrible thing. Um, I ate a strawberry that had been sitting in moonshine for however long, and it was called a hairy ball, and it was just the grossest thing I ever had in my entire life. And then I hallucinated.
From the strawberry?
Well, no, not really. It's disgusting. I'm not a drinker. Drunk people annoy me. Sorry if you're a drunk person, but you annoy me. I'm not anti-drinking. I'm like I release every single drug out. People do whatever the hell they want to do. But I usually give people drinking. Even last night when we went up to the rooftop, like restaurant bar, like you go up there and it's like it's really loud because everybody's getting drunk, and it's like Jesus Christ, why are you people screaming? That Journey crack was uncalled for. Oh, about Journey? Oh, I go back and forth on this one. Would I rather listen to a Journey album or would I rather shove an ice pick in my ear? I sighed. It's like I'm on the fence with that one. You know what the funny thing is? What I didn't realize is how many Journey fans there are out there, because I made a post one time on my Facebook page about Journey and ice picks, and I could not believe how much negative comments I got. People were pissed at me. It's like they were in the band or something.
Tell Bobby he's got to go to the link that I sent him.
Oh, okay, Bobby. All you got to do is go to the link that we just sent you. And if you click on the link and then it'll let you into the back room, and then we'll let you into the room.
Oops, I spilled.
All right, hold on a second. Well, we're getting there. We're going to get it to you in a second. I mean, well, the link was sent to you. So all you have to do is click on the link in your browser, and then it should just immediately take you to a room that says, let me in the room, or put in your name. That would be excellent. Holy cow, this is so cool. I had no idea. That's crazy cool. All right. Any more? The Journey crack was uncalled for. Any more comments about? Oh, there's the good advice for the 46-year-old. Oh, he got the link. Good. Wait a second. Haven't seen the Mike Bishop sign to see. Oh, he says, okay, hold. He asked if he could send it again. Again, blasphemy. What? About Journey? They hate you in Facebook. Oh, man. So don't anybody leave. We're about to have a special celebrity guest on the show. I think. If we can get it to work.
Possibly. What instrument does he play?
What instrument? Who?
Bobby.
No, Bobby's getting Shaggy on.
He said he's going to go on tour too.
Yeah. All right. So, did he say that Shaggy was coming on, or that he was coming on?
He said they were painting.
They were painting right now?
Mm-hmm.
No way. Oh. So, did you resend the link? We're going to do it until we get this to work.
It's in his messenger.
Yeah,
he got it.
Yeah, he says he got it, but then he says, "Can you send it again?" Do we need a new link?
There. That's the only link I have.
Yeah. Can you send it again? You know those people in Michigan. Are you in Michigan?
His Facebook says he's in New Hampshire.
New Hampshire? That's like the least Detroit state in the country. Maybe Vermont. Vermont's probably the least Detroit state in the country. Joey Belladonna has a Journey tribute band. When I was in Branson, Missouri, there was a Journey tribute band.
Who's Joey Belladonna?
You don't know Joey Belladonna?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know who Joey Belladonna is? Mm-hmm. How could you not know who Joey Belladonna is?
Well, because I just asked you.
Oh my God, everyone knows who Joey Belladonna is.
Does he throw sidearm though?
Does he throw sidearm?
Because
did I crap on them too? No, I didn't crap on only Journey. It says cricket. It says crick not working, or does it say crikey? Oh, Anthrax's lead singer. No way. I saw Anthrax. I didn't. Wait. The lead singer of Anthrax is in a Journey cover band? Wait, really? I saw Anthrax open for Iron Maiden back in 1990 at the Forum in Los Angeles. Hold on. Don't stop believing. Hold on a second, Bobby. If you have the link, I don't know what else to do if that link's not letting you in, because all you got to do is open that up in the browser. Except that it's technology, and if technology is not working, I'm going to be so sad about this. But then hopefully we could coordinate a time to do something, because that would be just so epic. That would be the coolest thing ever. Just mind blown if I could do something like that. But yeah, if the link's not working, because I'm looking right now, there's no one in the guest room, so whatever, like you're supposed to just click on the link, and then when you click on the link,
that's the link.
It just opens up the page, and then it says, "What's your name?" You type in your name and you click Enter Studio. Like that's what's supposed to happen. Except it's technology, and so if it's not working, I don't know why. I was so excited.
There we go.
What? Oh, it's working. Okay, who do we have here?
I made it. But
what
hold on. I gotta turn down the TVs and stuff. Hold on. And I gotta put down a lot of weed right now. Hold on. I gotta turn on this TV. I can't believe this worked.
Right. It did. Hey, just remember, I gotta show with kids.
The biggest disc golfer right there. My one that I grew up in watching and all my life. There he is right there. But you're wearing sunglasses.
No,
damn, I'm up here in New Hampshire, and it's dark up here, and we're about to get snow.
That's what I heard. So what's the deal? So you're like, you said you're there painting with Shaggy or what?
He's over there doing something in a little bit.
Okay.
They're doing something over there.
Okay.
So we can let's give him a little bit.
All right, we can give him a second. I gotta head out there though.
Yeah. But he's doing something over there in the side room. But hold on, Mr. Scott.
All right.
The best disc golfer in the world, and we respect you. Oh, and dude, coming from Shaggy, he goes, wait a minute. I'm like, well, I had to tell him too. I'm like, this guy right here, I'm like, he's like the oldest but the youngest fucking person ever. And he's up. There he is.
Get the fuck out of here. No way.
He's embarrassed. No, he's embarrassed. Get over here. Get over here and say hi. Yeah. Hi. Goodbye. No, he's embarrassed because he's tonight. Hey, come over here and just say hi, please. No, he's embarrassed. But yeah, insane but he's embarrassed because he does stupid shit, but the clown. But Scott, keep doing what you do, and you're making people fucking happy. And what you're doing, and I want to donate from me for Disc Golf America. What the charity you have, I'm donating $2,000 to your foundation. So and I know ICP is going to donate also he's gonna match my thing too. So we're doing this live. So I'm donating $2,000, and ICP is gonna donate the other $2,000.
All right. So if y'all are
And
making
that's
a
live,
donation,
and that's live, and we're gonna do that.
and if you're and I appreciate that. And if what we'll do is I don't take donations. So what I want you, what you're gonna do
We're
is
gonna do it to the charity that you want to.
Yep. We'll send it to
From my
down,
team, from Team Disc Golf America, and then from Insane Posse, he's gonna match mine. So that's another $2,000.
Well, we'll go with the Down syndrome of Western Australia. Hey, I appreciate it, but I'm gonna be I gotta head out. I gotta get to a clinic I'm running here in Sydney.
Yeah.
Dude,
I
thank
love
you
you,
for.
dude. Now see you soon.
Okay, tell Shaggy I said hi.
Yeah, he's scared
All right, see you
and he's a little.
No, you're good, man.
Well,
You're good.
That's what happens when you're a famous artist. I love you, Scott, and thank you.
All right.
See you soon.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. All right. Thank you. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for the gesture. Message me direct. I'll send you the link to the Down syndrome of Western Australia. And any donations, I don't take donations. You can send any donations directly to.
Awesome. We gotta go.
That was awesome. We have to go.
We got a
45-minute drive, and what time's the clinic start?
in about the next hour.
So we have an hour. We can get there. Okay, we got to go though.
Let's go.
All right, we got to go. Thank y'all. Y'all are the best. I love every single one of you. Yeah, absolutely worth it. 100%. 100%. That was epic.
Join us next week.
Yeah, thank y'all for sticking around, and make sure you join us next week. Final thing, go to scottstokely.net and buy the series discs. That is the end of this year's season, but we got the Assassin. Well, we got Marvels, and we got everything. We got everything at scottstokely.net. I got all my tour series merchandise there, and that's it. And the sign up for my disc golfer class. Thanks, everyone. That was too much.